So recently, Marquise Brownlee, he got hate for reviewing a product and people are blaming him if the company gets shut down, which caused him to make this video called "Do Bad Reviews Kill Companies?" But before we get into that video, let's do a little background of what happened in the first place. So he reviewed a product called a Humane AI pin. So the thing is a pin with an AI assistant, and the way that you use it is that it projects a screen on your hand. And to me, it just seems like this thing is just a worse phone. It doesn't do all the things a phone can, but the things it can do, it does it in a worse way. Look, I like my phone and I like my screen, but both things almost cost the same amount at the start. And what I mean by at the start is that they charge you $700 for it, but you have to pay a $24 a month subscription. So the reason why people are blaming him if the company falls is because he reviewed a car called the Fisker Ocean like 2 months ago, and he called the video, "This is the worst car that I've ever reviewed." So after he made that video, the Fisker stocks, they like dropped by I think like more than half. And people are thinking that the same thing is going to happen with the Humane AI pin, considering that the video that he actually reviewed the pin, he named it the worst product that I've ever reviewed for now. Just that title alone makes you wonder what caused him to even say that and what's so bad about it. And why are people blaming him and not other people? That's because of the whole Fisker thing, and that he's been doing YouTube for 16 years, and for 15 of those 16 years, he's been reviewing tech. And when you think of tech reviews, he's like the king of it. But if the product was good to begin with, he probably wouldn't have called it the worst thing ever. Because for the average person, right? You look for something that you're gonna buy, the first thing you're gonna do is like look at the reviews like online, like YouTube, other stuff. But mainly YouTube, right? Because like, you know, full video, full everything and all that, right? If all the reviews say that the product is not good to begin with, it's probably not worth getting, right? But to me, it still makes no sense why he's the only one getting blamed for a company's future downfall, considering you have other people saying that the product is also bad. For example, you have Mr. Who's the Boss, who's another tech review creator who has the same amount of subs as Marquise Brownlee, also said the product was just as bad, did an interview with the CEO of Humane, and made his review 4 days earlier before Marquise did his. Another person even called it a gamble to even get it in the first place. The idea of the product does sound cool, but the actual product is kinda dumb. Because from what I've seen, it seems like they're just trying to replace your phone with something worse.
And there are still issues with it just not understanding correctly or just saying the wrong thing. And that's not even mentioning server timeouts if you have a poor internet connection, which happens to me all the time in this studio. So when they do most of the demos, like on their websites and in their videos, they'll ask a question and then they'll let go and keep talking to fill the silence. So it's not awkward as you wait for an answer and realize how long it is. But even on this fast studio Wi-Fi here, who designed the Washington Monument? Like, what time is it?
11:42 a.m.
Like, that's pretty fast. If I ask the battery life, you can tell me that pretty fast. But it feels like basically everything else is just shoveling it off to the cloud, not computing on the device, and it takes a while.
So he tested how long it would take to search something, and it took him around 10 to 11 seconds. Then I did the same thing using Siri on my iPhone, and it only took me 2 to 3. So the way that you're supposed to get information is 5 times slower than using an iPhone. And you can look back to see the info on what's written. Because I'm not sure how the pin works, but if you miss a part when you're doing something, right? Would you have to reset it, wait 10 seconds again for it to actually search the thing, make the thing reread the entire thing again? Or could you just go back, say that, oh, you know, go back a few lines and then it says it? Like, you know, I really don't know how it works. And it seems like the only thing that it can search fast is the time and ask what percentage the battery life is. And if those are the only 2 things that it can do fast, to me, it doesn't seem like it's a product worth $700.
Wow. But it's also just wrong all the time. Like, I remember asking it days before the solar eclipse when the next eclipse was, and it said 2044. I asked it, what's some good Asian food in the area? And over again, it thought I said, what's the best ash for some reason? When is the next Nets game?
Finding next Nets game. The next Brooklyn Nets game is on Sunday, April 14th, but no specific opponent or location is provided.
I just Googled it. It says it's the 76ers, so that's kind of weird.
So he asks it a question. It doesn't answer it correctly. has some issues understanding what you were actually saying, which is concerning considering if that's the only way that you can search stuff. Battery life was actually just terrible and inconsistent. Because how do you get something brand new and the battery life on the thing's wonky?
Squarish in aspect ratio, very noisy, and they max out at 15 seconds. The hub that everything syncs with, for me, just randomly stops working, and I have to refresh it to get it to work again. The projector, as impressive as a technical achievement as it is, it's just not very readable. It's not particularly bright outdoors, and it gets dimmer the further from your hand it is because of physics. And unless I knew what those words were saying, I really can't read very much. And there are no apps.
What are you even gonna do with a 15-second video? Also, the way that the display is, I know on sunny days that thing's gonna be impossible to read. It can't set alarms, it can't buy you anything like on Amazon, and you can't use normal apps. So after he made that video, right, you had people on Twitter saying, how dare you give your honest opinion on this product? He reviewed a product, he gave his opinion. How is it his fault if the thing's a bad product? Or if the thing looks bad? Do you want him to lie and say that it's the best product he has ever seen? What do you expect him to do? The point of reviewing stuff is to see that if it's worth it. So people know that if they buy something, they know it's going to be bad, or they know that it's going to be good and works well. If the product is good, someone reviews it and it says it's good, it's probably good and people are probably going to buy it. If the product's bad, someone reviews it, says the thing's terrible, are you going to buy it? Probably not. And whose fault is that? The company who made it or the person who bought it and reviewed it? The main tweet that I found that was going against him was this guy, Daniel. I found it very distasteful, almost unethical, to say that when you have 18 million subscribers. Hard to explain why, but with great reach comes great responsibility. Potentially killing off someone's something project reeks of carelessness. First, do no harm. This Daniel guy has been going on the defense for this product. Someone said that I find this post distasteful, almost unethical, perhaps companies shouldn't release stupid garbage. He replied with, no one's forcing anyone to buy it. You can return it if you don't like it. The YouTube title is meant to crush him. A force shown by MKBHD. What does that even mean by a show of force? The actual product was bad, right? If it's the worst product that he's ever reviewed in the past 15 years of reviewing, what would he have named the video? Someone else asked, why do you think he would intentionally desire to destroy a tech startup? Is there more to the story that you're not sharing? And I think that's a valid question, because the way that this guy's defending it, you would assume that he's like an investor or like an owner of the company. He responds to that saying that it's a show of strength, he's become more valuable, and everyone will now take him seriously. Why would he even need to show strength in the first place? He's already the king of tech reviews, everyone already takes him seriously and everything. Interesting take. You think people don't take him seriously already? I've been watching him since I was a kid, and I have a hard time assuming that he's as malicious as you make him sound like in your posts are insinuating. Is this a bunch of yours? Or are you just leveraging the Fisker situation as an inference here? Which I kind of think so too, because with the whole Fisker review stuff and everything, it seems like they're trying to paint him as like he likes destroying companies when all he's doing is reviewing the product to see if it's good or not. Then Marquise, he finally responds to the situation saying that we disagree on what my job is. Daniel then asks him, why didn't you use the same sensational title as you did on X? This was honest, but the YouTube title wasn't. So this is what Marquise, he posted on Twitter, and he showed a short clip of the actual Humane stuff. New video, Humane pin review, victim of its future ambitions. This clip is 99% of my experiences with the pin, doing something you could already do on your phone, but slower is more annoying and less reliable / accurate. Turns out smartphones are pretty incredible, but there are some occasions, small glimpses of the future where this product could actually appeal to you. Away from your phone, reduce screen time, helps you live in the moment more, and I can't be mad at that. But with the whole, victim of its future ambition thing of the past, right? He actually put that in his video. So Marquise's video about the review, the video is split into different chapters, and that was the name of the final portion of that video. Even the CEO of the Humane AI pin replies with saying that an honest, solid review, Marquise, all fair and valid criticism, both good and bad. Feedback is a gift, we will reflect and we will listen, we will learn and continue building. If the CEO was fine and thanking him for the feedback, why is this guy Daniel so mad about it? So after all the tweets and everything, I'm guessing he felt like he had to make a response because a lot of people were bringing up the Fisker stuff. So that's why he posted a video called "Do Bad Reviews Kill a Company?" 2 days later. It's about 13 minutes, and I'll just say the main points that he said in it. He reviewed over 1,000 things at this point, picking what to review as a form of art, and on average, most things are average. And if he makes a review and a company goes out of business at one point, does that mean the bad review killed it? Or was it just a bad product to begin with? He brings up the Fisker situation. He reviewed it. It was terrible. A few months later, Fisker's company's verge of bankruptcy. He asks a question. Does a company with a negative review die out because of the review if the product is actually good? He then says what a review actually is, because some people are saying that it wasn't actually a review, but it was a slander. He says that a review is a product that you see how well it works, your opinion about it, and to see if it's actually good or bad. That's a review. But what I don't understand is that it seems like some people just want to say that a bad product is good. Because what's the point in sugarcoating a bad product? He says that if a review isn't honest, then it's useless. Because the whole point of it is to see your honest opinion on it, or honest reaction to it, and your opinion about the thing. He then brings up the Razr phone, right? It was meant to be used as a game phone, and for those parts of the phone, it's actually made well. You know, being sound, video quality, and all that. But the camera was kind of lackluster, and the vibration motor was actually garbage. So then a year later, he gets an invitation to see the Razr phone Model 2, right? They added better speakers, and one of the people there, who's actually, giving him the tour and everything, he tells him to check out the vibration motor, which is a lot better than the last year's model. So he gave an honest review about the phone, and for the next model they released, they fixed the issues that the last one had, which just shows you that an honest review actually fixes the problems that the thing may have. He then talks about how his whole channel started in the first place. He wanted to check out the review of a laptop, saw that a part of the laptop wasn't in any parts of the review, and so he thought that I'll just review it myself, and he used his allowance money to start it, and that's what he did. He talks about that most people who watch his reviews, he knows that aren't gonna actually buy the thing, but are just looking to see the tech. He then brings up a big question. Does the review actually kill the company? First off, he starts off with the Fisker situation, saying that it was the worst car that he had ever reviewed and he couldn't wait to be done with it. Since there was a lot of issues with the car, he talked about it, he gave a warning to those thinking of buying it, right? Because the whole point is that he gives an honest review. And a week after his review, the company's stocks went to an all-time low and they laid off like 15% of the company's employees. And that's when people started blaming him for the downfall of the company. And some people are saying that he was actually paid to make the car seem bad. And then he talks about the stocks and saying that if you actually look at it, Fisker stocks have been going on a downtrend since 2021, and it only got worse in October of 2023. At the start of October, the highest it's ever been for the month of October was at 678. By November 1st, it went down to 433. By the start of 2024, it was at $1.60, and it went under $1 by January 16th, a whole month before his review. He made the review on the 17th, and on the 16th of February, it was at 73 cents. By the end of the month, a large drop happened where it went from 73 cents on February 29th to 48 cents on March 1st. To where now, as of April, I didn't even know this could happen, but it's at less than half a cent. Before he even reviewed the car, the company got a warning to get the stocks back up or it would be unlisted from the stock market, which contributed the company going down even further. The company was already in its grave, but people blame Marquise, saying that he poured concrete over the grave so the company couldn't get back up. He showed that other people reviewed the car and they said it was a bad car too. So why is he the only one getting hate for it? For me, I think it's because how large his channel is. Because it's pretty easy to blame it on someone who has a larger following. But if everyone has the same review, saying the car is just bad, is it really slander? Or is your car just garbage? The whole point of his reviews is that he shows you what you're getting into when you buy a product. He doesn't get paid by the companies to make the product look good. If it was good from the beginning, he wouldn't need to be paid. Now the humane AI stuff. He calls out every single fault it has because he doesn't want to sugarcoat a company with a $700 product that you have to pay a monthly subscription for. He's not the first person to cover the humane AI, and he's not the last person to say that the product's bad. He talks to other people who reviewed the humane AI stuff to make sure that his isn't the only one that's having a certain issue. But he finds out that they all had the same problem, so it's a problem with the thing in general and not just his alone. So he ends off the video with saying that the only thing an honest review does is accelerate what's already going to happen. Which basically tells you that the company was garbage. A review only shows other people how garbage it really is. Which honestly sounds about right. If the product is good, the reviews are good, it's probably going to stay kicking, right? Product's good, reviews are bad, probably going to stay. Product's bad, but reviews are good, you got like a 50-50 till something else happens. But if the product is bad and the reviews are garbage, your company's gone. So that's about it. If you liked and sub, if you sub, you might get another video.